be in pain the whole time. Like it probably would take the thing a day to die. But the mercy you show this beast would be shooting it. Right? That's what we've seen in the films. I never done that. I never lived on a farm. So, but you hear these stories and they don't come from nowhere. And you've seen the movie. I've seen him in the movie. But Old Yeller, I don't know. Did they have to kill Old Yeller? But it comes down to that, right? The farmer has to just go, sorry, man. This is what we got to do. So I think God's looking at the same way. Like this is a dead cow. It's going to die anyways. We're going to take it out of its misery. Okay. So that's one way to look at it. So he tells them here, gives them some instructions, right? Because he's going to destroy them with the earth. Wow. Wow. He's going to use the earth to destroy them. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Gopher wood, I'm not familiar with my woods. I've heard of, redwood and oak, and so gopher wood. I wonder what that's like. Kind of what that is. Make thee an ark of gopher wood. Rooms shalt thou make in the ark, and shalt pitch it within and without with pitch, within and without. So the inside and the outside with this pitch. The pitch must be some kind of glue or some kind of adhesive, I would say. Mud could be combined with other soils, other things maybe to create a thing. So to like seal, like a sealing thing. So, and this is the fashion which thou shalt make it of. Okay, so now he's giving him like architectural designs here. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, the breadth of it 50 cubits, and the height of it 30 cubits. Interesting, these dimensions. What could they mean? 300 by 50 by 30. Is there a sign in that? I don't know. People that like messing around with numbers, I like numbers. 300 by 50 by 30. 300 by 50 by 30. Let's see, 30 is a tenth, is 10% of 300. That's an interesting relation. But the cubits, I'd have to like study cubits now. Like what are cubits in Bible terms? Is it inches, feet, meters, metric system? Is it something similar, or is it a different whole measurement system in of itself? A window shalt thou make to the ark. Whoa, a window. Now, I think window, we think glass, right? We're talking window here, could be just an opening. And in a cubit shalt thou finish it above, and the door of the ark shalt thou set in the side thereof. With lower, second, and third stories shalt thou make it. Oh, wow. So we got 3 stories up in this ark. We're talking like a 3-story house. What? Is the same stories, like the same dimensions of stories, like what we call stories, which is like, I guess it could be shifting, could be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 12 feet per story. Interesting. Okay. We shall read some more here. And behold, I, even I, do bring a flood of waters upon the earth to destroy all flesh, wherein is the breath of life from under heaven. And everything that is in the earth shall die. Interesting. So a flood of waters. The earth getting just bathed in water, right? And it's going to drown everybody out. There'll be no. Now, as to how it gets the birds, the birds just run out of places to land. They just they can't land nowhere, so they just land in the water and die. Yikes. Except for the ducks, they can float in the water, but even they got to find land to go eat something. And just out in the water, just drinking salt water, death water, whatever the water is, they're done too. And the insects, they definitely don't like water. Okay, so yeah, this would do it. This would do the job. Okay, but with thee I will establish my covenant. And thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons and thy wife and thy sons' wives with thee. So his sons, apparently, I guess he's taught them well. They could have fallen to the corruption, but and looks like his wife is good to go, and his sons' wives looks like they're up to speed on, hey, we've been listening to Noah, and he makes a lot of sense. Whereas all these other folk out here, they're going buck wild, getting all crazy up out here. None of them make any sense. They're just all over the map, manic, depressive. Who knows? They all need Dr. Phil. I don't know, but here we go, man. This is like, um, these are the guys. These are the people that are like accepted. They're ready. They're the ones that can get in this ark. They're welcomed. Okay. And every living thing of all flesh. Whoa. Okay. So now this changes. We're changing some things up here. There's been a shift. First, it was all living things, right? Now it's like, okay, we got the family. They're good to go. But we're going to we're going to do some preservation here, some animal preserve, right? Um, which was probably why he had him design the ark this way. He has like these other quarters for the animals to live in. Uh, so, and of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shall thou bring into the ark. I'll move my screen over here and read the rest of the bottom line here. To keep them alive with thee, they shall be male and female. Well, that's the other one. What about it? Didn't maybe he didn't mention it for a reason. Like all living things, you would think of the fish. I didn't bring that up. Fish and whales or whatever in the seas. Well, more water is just good for them, I think. You know, they're going to survive apparently, but I don't think it mentions the fish here, unless you know, unless there is a way for them to die with more water. Who knows? Who knows? Like the rush of water or the water can mess up their whole system, and I don't know. That's something to think about. Because apparently you don't need to put the fish in the ark. They're going to go in the water. So for those who aren't good for water, these would be um, to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind, to every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. So it says these creatures would obey God's voice apparently because they said they would come unto them. Wow, talk about this like brings in the whole Dr. Doolittle like on a whole nother level, man. Like Noah's got some serious gifts here to be having like all these animals he could communicate with showing up, just like I guess from the days of Adam when Adam named the animals. Maybe there's something to do with that. Noah's able to unlock some of those secrets with God and be like, okay, these guys are gonna listen to me. This is like a more civilized version of Tarzan, I guess, or prophetic version. Tarzan just, come on, animals, come over here. Oh, they're all showing up, man. Uh, every sort will just come into them. Right? That's cool. They just come as pairs. Right? Here we are. I'm this kind of bird and whatever. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee. So, boom, bunch of food that they need to eat, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. So you got food for the creatures too. So depending on how long they're gonna live on this thing, man, how long they're gonna have to stay on this boat. Thus did Noah according to all that God commanded him, so did he. So, it's interesting. God has Noah, follow these specific instructions. He tells him all these things here. We got the dimensions for what's being built here, what it's built out of. We've got the forecast of the weather here. There's going to be a flood apparently, and so a lot of interesting things in this chapter 6. Enjoyed reading that straight out of the Bible. I may have read, like I said before, like sometimes when you're just reading scripture, you're just reading through, and and then you try to research and go, what's this mean? What does that mean? And you just look around, and sometimes you get bored, and sometimes you fall asleep. And I'm actually really glad to do this, to read like this with kind of almost in a public setting, because it makes it more fun. Makes me think, makes me ponder more about what's been written here, and um, so yeah, that's the goal. And like I said, I wanted to keep this simple. Who knows what we'll learn from all of this whole process, and but the idea was just to get through it, just to go from front to back, get it all done. Thanks, guys, for joining me this morning. Really appreciate if anybody did happen to jump on here and read with me. Appreciate you guys, man. And for me, myself, and I, it's just me reading, just enjoying. That's it. Till tomorrow.